But it is what it is what it is, YouTube. You know what it is. It's your boy, the Moose Squad. Let's get it. What would you do with a moose on the loose? Would you go to a party? Would you sing with him karaoke? Would you race him to a school? Would you stand with him at a wedding? Would you go to his corporate event? I ask you, what are you waiting for? Because he's already loose. Alright, in this video, we are going to discuss DMX. Now, we're going to do it a little different. We're not going to talk about the software, because the software speaks for itself and does what it does. We're going to actually talk about running DMX, the actual whole thing. Okay, so you have two ways to do DMX. You have wired and wireless. Today we're going to discuss the wireless part. Wireless to wired. How can you successfully run a wireless system to the wired system? And that's with Donners. You can get the this right here. This is my Donner system. I'm sorry I can't show it to you, but it's plugged into the wall. So this is my Donner system, and these are the actual Donners that use. I have 3 of them. So that gives you a good understanding. Now, some Donner systems you can get have maybe 12, maybe 10. They come up to 10 wireless Donners. Okay, so I'm going to explain this to you. When you run a wire from a Donnered light, let's say you got this light right here, this Donnered, this light right here, you Donner this light to the next light. As you could see, this in my system. You can actually see where I took the 2 moving heads and I wired them together, and I use 1 DMX transmitter for that, and then the uplight, the lights for the dance floor are wired to the moving heads, and I actually got them wired together. So there's 6 lights together. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get into this. For beginning and stage lights, one idea that can be baffling is how to wire up all your fixtures. Back in the old days, you could simply run, you can run a cable controller to dimmers and power out your conversational fixture. It's pretty simple overall, with no settings or configurations required to your lights. However, today, this all gets a little more complicated. Most of our fixtures and modern light rigs require DMX signals. So you can get a little confusing when you're trying to manage it all. Okay, the basics. When working with lighting control consoles, whether PC-based or hardware, the console will come with DMX output. A DMX output sends the signal to communicate with the lighting fixtures. The daisy chain. The daisy chain is a simple wire method where you can wire each fixture looping out to the previous fixture to create a line of fixtures connected to the back of the console. So let's say you have 4 LED fixtures. Most fixtures have DMX input and DMX output. From the console's DMX output, you will wire the fixture's DMX input and wire out the DMX output to the next fixture or device. So what happens when you reach the last fixture? When you DMX output that's not being used, the specs requires that you then use a DMX terminator. I had to throw that in there. Use the terminator to terminate but in most situations, this is not needed. Okay, we're going to get into this. So the 32 fixture rule. This is a rule that was taught to me right when DMX was started. I remember the transition from the old lighting to DMX, and it was pretty crazy. It was a pretty crazy time in theater. The reason they came up with DMX is because XLR was out. So they learned how to take and reverse XLR. So DMX is XLR reverse, just to let you know. So DMX only allows you to connect up to 32 fixtures on a single daisy chain or signal strength. Sometimes, depending on the fixture and cable lengths, this number is less or more. Restrictively, most people recommend only setting up 16 to 20 fixtures on a device in a daisy chain. This is because some fixtures may be heavier or lighter on the DMX line. Devices would also include dimmer packs. A dimmer pack can connect 4 to 8 lights, but still only counts as one device on your daisy chain. I hope that helps. Now, splitting DMX. To get around 32 fixture rule, you can split your DMX signal to create multiple daisy chains. In the simplest form, a DMX splitter takes a DMX output and just copies it multiple times. A DMX splitter can also be known as an optical splitter. And that is one right there. I don't have one, so that is what that looks like right there. Or even an optical isolated splitter, which is this dice right here. Splitting your DMX can also help you make your cable runs cleaner and isolated different runs of fixtures. Okay. All right. A DMX splitter can also protect your console in the event of connection or facility light up to it. I was recently talking with another light engineer, and he shared with me a story of a client who fried a $15,000 lighting console because it all hooked up to a cheap LED fixture. The LED fixture was not a name brand or something went wrong, literally, sending voltage down the DMX line and killing the DMX chip in the console. Not cool. And an inexpensive DMX splitter would have taken the heat instead of an expensive console, had they used one. Some splitters will feature a 3 and a 5 pin on each out. Now, if you look in here, this is a 3 pin. Some DMX, the older style DMX, is 5 pin. That's when I started DMXing. We used 5 pin. We came down to 3 now. The other 2 pins, if you used it, if you got into the ratios of it, you don't even use 2 of them anyway. Just they're grounding purposes. You cannot use both. If the splitters plug are labeled separately on the output, then you're able to use each plug if needed. When a fixture has 3 to 5 pins in and outputs. When you have a fixture with 3 pin or 5 pin outputs, it is the same principle as working with the splitter. You can have a 3 pin output to a 5 pin input or vice versa, but it cannot have 2 inputs and or 2 outputs. You can only use 3 and 5 pin DMX jacks on a fixture as a split. Multiple universes. DMX lighting these days can take up multiple channels than ever before. And when you need more than 512, you need to start a new DMX universe. A DMX universe is simply a new, fresh set of 512 DMX channels to control your lights. when you have multiple universes on controls on the console, we'll note these universes as DMX1 and DMX2 and 3 and 4, so on and so on. And the addresses will show this as well in the patch section. Some consoles will leave letters instead of universe numbers, i.e. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You can simply wire your universe separately. It's really that simple. Just remember to keep your fixtures and vices on the desired universes only. You cannot mix these, as regular DMX lights can't understand the difference between universes and will therefore do the wrong thing. When your console has multiple universes, you can zone your lighting rig to different universes and stay organized, keeping your wiring simple. Also, DMX splitters can span multiple universes through. Some allowed you to input 2 universes and choose which ports you will assign for each output. And I hope that helps. To break it all down to you simple, my recommendation is not running 100-foot wires to each light. My recommendation is between 6-foot to 10-foot between each light. Now remember, the further you get away from the lights, that's when the signal gets weaker. Not so an XLR. XLR, you can run pretty much, you can't run that much, but you can run 200-300 feet and you still get the perfect signal. You can daisy chain your speakers in that form also. So I hope this DMX helps. Now, this is a shout out to the person who brought me the question. I want you to understand that when running DMX, Big Crazy Al, when running DMX, it's highly recommended to use multiple wireless, Don't just use one and run a bunch. Use a couple and run a few to each light. You can get away with that. Now remember, when you're running lights, I would suggest you running, maybe you can run those 12 up lights on 2 different donners, 6 on one side, 6 on the other. Put your moving heads on the donner, and then you have the 5 fireboxes. I don't recommend DMXing the fireboxes. What I recommend is using wireless donners. That would take 1, 2, 3. It takes 7. 3. It'd take 8 donors for you. They make up the 10 systems that take 10. Now remember, when you're buying the wireless donners, you need to make sure that they are battery operated. If you don't, you're going to have to run a wire to that. So that is my suggestion. It's only a suggestion, but the fireboxes, I would not daisy chain the fireboxes together. I would not. I would run them separately on a wireless dongle. I hope this helps you, but I recommend that you use wireless donners on 6 up lights on this side, 6 up lights on this side, and your moving heads have only one donor connected. When you do the up lights, I recommend to get the HOSA DMX Terminator. This is from HOSA. HOSA makes it, you can't take it apart. Other DMX Terminators you can take apart. The other one I have in the garage, I took apart. And I can't get back together. So my recommendation is get HOSA. HOSA is HOSA. Just like it sounds. But anyways, this is what it looks like. it's hose up. So anyways, I hope this video helps you on your DMX adventure. If you need other DMX advice, go ahead and leave a comment below, and I'll see what I can do about helping you out. Also, when you are running, make sure you get a DMX transmitter going out of your computer to hook up to the wireless donor that they give you. Once you plug it into that, here's one right here. I got off eBay for $35. They're really cheap. 80J makes them, but they're over $100. This thing works very good. And I hope this video helps. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and ring that bell for more notifications for videos like this and countless others. Smash that like button. Double deuces.